with that Corbett Burns. It's similar to that, though.
I don't know what that is.
Beloit. Yeah, a little before your time. It's okay.
Corey says Joe Buck with Aikman as the vice president. Says he looks the part and good at public speaking. And let's be real, Democrat or Republican, the president is almost always hated.
You know what? A unifying force, Joe Buck.
That, for the sake of Wisconsin?
Man, everybody's on board with that.
It's true.
Message.
I don't necessarily get it. I guess to each his own, but I've never got the vibe that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are just completely forwardly against the Packers. And I know there's a large contingent that think that. It's like, whatever, some like certain announcers more than others, and that's fine. It's just personal preference. But the anti-Packer thing, I personally have never gotten.
Do you ever buy the conspiracy theory that they have money on the game? Certain announcers, and that's one way or another, they go ballistic and bonkers when a touchdown is scored late or a field goal is missed. And that I would not accusing anyone of anything, certainly, but you know, that has been mentioned. Not just, I'm not talking about Buck and Aikman, but in general, national announcers. You go, where's that guy? Where's all this anger coming from at a decision? Is he just that passionate, or did he just lose a couple of grand?
I mean, I'm sure that has happened before, where it's like, you know, you got a guy, and you're going to games, calling him every night, and in your heart, you're like, oh, what a great last-second shot. Like, I'm sure that happens and it leaks out there. I mean, Tim Donaghy, poor guy, he was just trying to gamble, and then he had to do his night job, which was actually call the games that he was gambling on, poor guy.
And that's something. I got to say this, and we've talked about this plenty of times, but announcing corps for pro and college sports in the state, I think we're blessed because there isn't a single one, and I'd tell you if there was, that I go, oh, God, okay, I'll watch the Brewers, but I just really in spite of, or I'll listen to the Packers in spite of, or oh, the Badgers love them, but, you know, that Matt LePage drives me nuts. Obviously not. I mean, I just blessed.
It's a really, really good group, there's no doubt. Somebody, actually multiple people this morning said it shouldn't even be a question. It should be Bob Uecker in terms of the president, because he's the best. Now, obviously there's a factor. You don't want to be that guy, but he's 85 years old.
Well, so he's fit right in this race coming up for 2020. In fact, at 85. And I tell you what, you better have a sense of humor if you're a politician. Yep. And I don't know if anyone has a better sense of humor than you. And self-awareness and all those other great attributes that guy has.
Not to mention, how many times have you heard a politician talk and there's like, it's almost like you can hear them writing that 500-word essay you had to do in school, but you couldn't get there, so you would just talk and use as many words to say as little as possible. Calling a baseball game's got to be the hardest thing ever, and nobody can do it like Uecker. He can talk about nothing, and it never feels like he's talking about nothing.
He's got, I mean, like I said, the humor, and the other thing about him, the self-deprecating sense of humor especially goes a long ways. He's made just a tremendous life living out of, made a lot of people smile. But the thing that maybe most of all impressed me with you, I mean, they had some god-awful teams, and I would stick with them growing up. His knowledge of the game, that gets lost in the comedy act and the one-liners and the laughs, because in terms of understanding pitching as a former catcher and understanding the game, I mean, because you talk about a guy do his due diligence. One of the first ones to the ballpark apparently every day, whether he was riding his Harley in back in the day to come to County Stadium or Miller Park. I mean, Ueck's greatness is not just as a humor man. That guy knows baseball inside and out, and he imparts so much information during the broadcast any given time. You learn something every time you listen to the guy.
Well, I mean, obviously the history as a player before even being a broadcaster, World Series champion in 1964, and perhaps the biggest, this is from his Wikipedia, perhaps the biggest highlight of Uecker's career was when he hit a home run off future Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax, after which Uecker joked that he always thought that home run would keep Koufax from getting into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
If that's not Uecker in a nutshell, right? Something like that's so great.
Good stuff. Brewers lineup tonight taking on the Reds, trying to reverse the course from last night, 5-4. I don't know, there's no butt-chewing going on in the clubhouse. However, you can't have what you had. I think Yelich's throw and Thames results, a little bit of fatigue, not that it's an excuse. That was a game I thought they should have had put away, though. You're up 4-2. In spite of yourself, with 3 home runs, you only managed 4 runs on it, and I thought it still would be enough. And, you know, Josh Hader's availability or lack thereof, I wonder a little bit with Hader.
by the way, I know Yelich went back-to-back nights now, so 30 homers, new Brewers record, and then 31, but every now and then you just got to circle that Mike Moustakas number. I mean, 24 is absurd. The Brewers record is 29, Prince Fielder before Yelich snapped it, but Mike Moustakas, another home run last night. The year he's having is just sensational.
He's not done yet before the All-Star break.
No.
He's in the lineup tonight batting second. He could hit 50 home runs, and Yelich, I'm not even ahead of myself, could hit 60.
I mean, think about
You
that.
can have two guys combined, two left-handed hitters in your lineup for 110 home runs, and I know that would be, I don't even know what the highest combination of baseball history is. Giancarlo Stanton and somebody, or
I don't even know.
I might have to try to Google that.
Like Jim Edmonds and Mark McGuire.
Yeah, I mean, you need somebody who, like a Barry Bonds.
Jeff Kent, he was much of a home run hitter.
You know, Barry Bonds and somebody who else happened to hit 25, like if you had, Will Clark or somebody who hit 30. I mean, then you'd get over 100, right? 73.
You know, now that I think about it, Mike Moustakas actually would be a decent answer for today's Twitter question, too, because he's so even-keeled. The only time you see him break emotion is when he makes, like, a crazy, like last night.
How about that catch he made last night?
Extended the game for them to completely blow it in the 11th, but Moustakas did his job. He's just all business.
He is a no-nonsense kind of guy, and he seems like a Midwestern kind of guy. I don't even know where he hails from, born originally and all that, but, I mean, he's played with Kansas City, and he loved being there, and
he's from L.A., which he's the least L.A. guy ever.
Okay.
But I guess now that I'm thinking about it, he would not make a good politician because of all those nice things.
Too honest.
Yeah. Too even-keeled.
I shouldn't say that. Why are we picking on politicians, Dan?
Local politicians are great.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. If you've driven on our streets, they're beautiful.
Love you.
No doubt about it. Politicians really don't have anything to do with people not understanding that when they come to a roundabout, they look at it like they're asked to solve a Rubik's Cube before they can advance. I don't know. And then changing lanes within the roundabout is always one of my favorite things people love to do. And entering a roundabout when there's a semi in the roundabout, which is against the law, folks, if you don't happen to know. Do not enter the roundabout when there's a semi. Please, do it for our drivers out there.
Every time traffic comes up on the radio specifically, I feel obliged. I feel like I need to address one specific area of town, and that is on the on-ramp, East Mason. You merge. It is not as difficult as, I would say approximately, it's not everybody, it's probably 20% of people, but to come to a complete stop, okay, there are certain times. A yield sign, yes, it might result in a stop every now